Welcome back to Crooked Yoga. My name is Hannah. Hope you guys are staying sane and safe and healthy out there, and I hope to see you guys soon. Please start. Before we get started, if you have any props at home, a block is sometimes helpful for standing poses. A strap is helpful for seated and supine poses. If you don't have those, you can use like a jar or a water bottle, a brick, a stack of books as a block. For a strap, you can use a towel or a belt. Those will work too. Okay, let's get started. Start in child's pose. Bring your big toes together, your knees a little wider than your hips. Walk your hands out in front of you and rest your forehead on the floor. If you have a blanket or a towel close by, you can make a pillow for your forehead too. Breathe evenly. Settle into the space of your body, settle into your breath. Inhale, go the other way. Cow pose. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Move your upper back in. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Move at your pace. Keep moving, keep breathing. Squeeze your thighs in to engage your upper legs. Squeeze your forearms in to engage your arms. No matter which pose you're in, tone your abdomen up towards your spine to help stabilize your back. Gently come back to a neutral spine, please. Walk your hands forward or your feet, knees back 6 to 8 inches. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back to down dog. Widen your feet hip width apart or wider. You can bend your knees to bring more space into this pose. Lift your shoulders a little. Push in your hands a lot and stretch your hips back. If there's any kind of movement you'd like to bring into your down dog, please do so. No matter how you're moving, grip the floor with your hands. And more than that, push your index knuckles down so your inner hand is heavier than your outer wrist. Come back to stillness in your down dog. Bring your feet together. Lower your knees back to the floor. And keeping your toes curled under, have a seat on your heels. In front of your heart, place your palms together. You can lower your gaze or softly close your eyes. Reach your heels back. This is to stretch your feet. Squeeze your thighs gently in. Extend your tailbone down just enough to tone your lowest belly in. And lift your chest into your thumbs. Maintain all the work that you've gained, but soften your skin around your pose. Gently open your eyes. Look to the top of your mat, that's your target. Keep your toes curled under your knees on the floor. Lower your hands to the floor at the top of your mat. Keep your hips up, lower your chest, chin to the floor. Hips should only be a few inches away from the floor. Grip the floor with your hands. Lift the fronts of your shoulders so your shoulder blades move closer onto your back. Dig your chin down. Tone your abdomen in. Gently walk your knees back, lower all the way down onto your abdomen. Uncurl your toes. Place your hands outside of your chest or even outside of your middle ribs. Press the tops of your feet down. We're doing cobra pose, but we're starting low on this first one. In general, when you take the depth out of the pose, it's a lot easier to make refinements. Keeping your chest on the floor, lift your shoulders so that your shoulders, the top of your shoulders, are in line with your elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades on your back and continue to press into your feet. Press your tailbone, now tone your abdomen in, then keeping your shoulders engaged on your back, relationship of shoulders to elbows similar, lift your head and chest up. You can lift as high or as low as you wish, as long as your shoulders are still moving back and the front of your chest is open. So your tailbone down, abdomen in, and as you reach your elbows back, shoulders back, stretch your chest forward and a little up. Gently lower down. Press up to hands and knees, and back to down dog, please. Take a few even breaths in your down dog. Lift your gaze towards your hands. You can step or hop your feet forward. But when you get there, line up your feet evenly. The wider your feet, the more space you'll have in your low back. Fold over your legs. Bend your knees enough to bring your bottom ribs and thighs together. And if you can maintain ribs and thighs together and legs straight, that's fine. Look down toward the floor or back toward your shins. Place your hands to your hips. With your inhale, stand up. Exhale, lower your arms by your sides, Tadasana Mountain Pose. Stay with your feet as close together as they'll get. In front of your body, interlace your hands. Turn your palms to point forward, lift your chest through your upper arms. Stay here, lift your arms up and back more in line with your ears. Lean back into your heels. Move your ribs back. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Squeeze your forearms in like you did in your cat pose and push through your palms until your shoulders lift and you get stretched from your wrists all the way down to your heels. Keep your fingers interlaced, but turn your palms to point in, extend your index fingers up. Again, stretch through your hands, then lean your torso to the left for crescent pose. Shift your hips to the right. Tone your abdomen in, move your left shoulder forward, lift your chest, lift your chin. Push with your right foot, with your left hand pull. Lift back up. Keep your arms up, stretch up, get long, and lean your torso to the right. Lean your hips to the left. Tone your abdomen in, ribs back. Move your right shoulder more forward. Lift your chest toward your chin, chin out of your chest. Then push into your left foot, and with your right hand, pull out for length. Inhale, come back up. Keep your arms up, stretch up. Bend your knees, sit your hips back and down. Utkatasana Power Pose. Sit your hips back so your weight goes in your heels and sit your hips low. Tone your abdomen in. Then pull your hands up away from your hips. Move your upper arms back to begin to lift your torso more upright. See if you can sit 3 inches lower. Stretch 5 inches higher. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, arms by your sides, mountain pose. Okay, step to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and extend. You can have fingertips on the floor or hands to your shins. If your hands are on your shins, place your hands back to the floor. You may have to bend your knees and step your left foot back to a lunge. Be sure that your front shin is straight up and down and your front thigh is parallel to the floor. Turn your back heel to the floor so your back toes turn to the left. Line up your front heel with the middle of your back arch. Place your hands inside of your front foot or walk your hands forward and off to the left. Squeeze your feet toward each other. Move your right outer hip back and widen your right knee so it points toward your little toe. Tone your abdomen in, especially on the right side of your belly. And then like your down dog, push into your hands. Gently walk your hands back in. Lift your back heel. Widen your left hand to the left, twist in your upper body to the right, and extend your right arm toward the ceiling. At any point, if you need to, you can lower your back knee to the floor. If your back knee is not on the floor, lift your back thighs so your hips are level. Squeeze your right outer hip, left inner thigh toward each other. Tone your abdomen towards your spine. Stretch your hands apart and into that space, twist. Lift your chest, lift your chin, lengthen your spine. Lower your top hand. Step your left foot forward. Fold over your legs. Step your right foot back. Make sure your front shin is straight up and down, front thigh is parallel to the floor so that your knee is at a 90-degree angle. Turn your back heel to the floor. Line up your front heel with the middle of your back arch. Place your hands inside of your front foot or walk your hands forward and off to the right. Squeeze your feet toward each other. Move your left outer hip back and widen your left knee more to the left. Tone your lowest belly in, especially on the left side, and push into your hands. Gently walk your hands in. Lift your back heel, but stay in your lunge. Walk your right hand off to the right. Lean into your right hand, twisting your upper body to the left, and extend your left arm up. If you did on the first side, lower your back knee. If your back knee is not on the floor, lift your back thigh so your hips are level. Clamp your left outer hip, right inner thigh toward each other. Press your tailbone in, abdomen in. Then stretch your hands apart. And into that space, turn left in your chest. Lift your chest, lift your chin, and lengthen your spine, head away from your hips. Lower your top hand to the floor. Step your back foot forward. Fold over your legs. Place your hands to your hips with your inhale, stand up. Exhale, lower your arms by your sides, mountain pose. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and extend, fingertips to the floor or shins. Exhale, fold. Step back, down dog. Shift forward, plank pose. Grip the floor with your hands. You can do knees down for more support and tone your abdomen in. Hold in plank or do one push-up. Lower all the way down. Gently uncurl your toes. Straighten your arms by your sides and turn your palms up. With your arms and legs straight and strong, lift everything except your hips and bottom ribs up. Turn your inner thighs so your kneecaps point down. Lift the fronts of your shoulders, similar to your cobra pose. Then lift your wrists to the height of your shoulders. Stretch your hands and feet back. Reach your chest forward. Lower down. Rest. You can make a pillow for your face with your hands, or rest on one cheek. If you're on one cheek, switch sides. Place your elbows to the floor. Bring your elbows a little wider than your shoulders and a little forward of your shoulders. Interlace your fingers. Press the tops of your feet into the floor until your thigh bones lift. Press your elbows down, drag them almost back as if you could lengthen your abdomen forward. Move your shoulders back a little. Reach your chest forward towards your thumbs and up towards your chin. This is sometimes called Sphinx pose or Cobra on forearms. Tone your lowest belly in to support your back. Lift your chin a little and extend the base of your skull up. Gently lower down. Place your palms to the floor outside of your chest. Curl your toes under. Either through plank pose or through hands and knees, press up and back to down dog. Now for this series, it moves a little faster. So I would encourage you to work with the pace of your breath, even if it means letting go of alignment a little. Bring your feet together and take an inhale in your down dog. Exhale, soften your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Place your hands to your hips, inhale, stand up. Exhale, step your right foot forward, high lunge, hands on hips. Inhale, stay in your lunge, lengthen your spine. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor, down dog, feet together. Inhale, plank pose, knees on or off the floor. Hold in plank or do one push-up. Lift up, down dog. Take an inhale in your down dog. Exhale, soften your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, place your hands to your hips, stand up. Exhale, step your left foot forward, high lunge, hands on hips. With your inhale, stay in your lunge, lengthen your spine. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor, down dog. Inhale, plank pose, knees on or off the floor. Hold in plank or do one push-up. This time, lower all the way down, exhale. Inhale, cobra pose, or if you know up dog, that's fine with me. Exhale, lower down, down dog. Take a few even breaths in your down dog. Set 2, slightly different. Bring your feet together. Take an inhale in your down dog. Exhale, soften your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, right foot forward, high lunge. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hands down, down dog, feet together. Shift forward, plank pose, inhale. Do a push-up or not. Down dog. Take an inhale in your down dog. Exhale, soften your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, left foot forward, high lunge. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hands down, down dog. Inhale, plank pose, knees on or off the floor. Hold in plank or do one push-up. Lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Remember to move your shoulders back, chest forward. Lower down. Press back, down dog. If you prefer child's pose, you can do that instead. But wherever you end up, push your hands down and out and stretch your hips back. Breathe evenly. Place the inner edges of your feet together. Wiggle your heels side to side to lengthen your stance slightly. Spread your right fingers. Point your right index finger forward or slightly out. For side plank, roll to the outer edge of your right foot. You can step your top foot forward or lower your bottom knee to the floor for more support. Lift your top arm up. Grip the floor with your right hand. Lift your hips. Like your crescent pose, turn in your chest a little to the left. Lift your chest, lift your chin, and stretch your hands apart. Lower your left hand, fingers wide. Stay in your long down dog. Turn your left index finger forward or a little to the left. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot, stack your ankles. You can also bring your top foot forward or lower your bottom knee to the floor. In all cases, extend your top arm out. Push your left index knuckle down, lift your hips. Turning your chest a little to the right. Lift your chest, lift your chin, and stretch your hands apart. Lower your top hand, down dog. Lower your knees to the floor, child's pose. You can do any variation of child's pose you wish. Make your way back up to down dog, please. Bring your feet together. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your legs straight, hips level. And with your inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Bring your right knee to your right elbow and pause. Grip the floor with your fingers. Squeeze your right heel in. Squeeze your knee toward your armpit. Down dog, right leg lifted. Lower your right foot. Lift your left leg. Keep your left leg straight, hips level. Grip the floor with your hands, shift forward, plank pose, and bring your left knee to your left elbow. Squeeze your left heel in. Squeeze your elbow, your knee more toward your shoulder. Lift back up, down dog, left leg lifted. Second set, lower your left foot, lift your right leg. Grip with your hands, shift forward, plank pose, and bring your knee to your armpit. Keep your right heel in, right knee up, tone your abdomen in 2. Down dog, right leg lifted. Lower your right foot to the floor, lift your left leg. Shift forward, plank pose, bring your left knee to your left armpit. Squeeze your left heel in, left knee up, tone your abdomen. Down dog, left leg lifted. Lower your left foot to the floor, shift forward, plank pose, lower all the way down. Straighten your arms by your sides. You can repeat locust 2 again, which is arms straight by your sides, or with your elbows bent, interlace your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulders on your back so the front of your shoulders lift, and with your inhale, lift everything up. If you can maintain chest open, shoulders back, then begin to straighten your arms. Squeeze your thighs in, shoulders in. Move your shoulders back, wrists back, stretch your chest forward. Lower down. Rest for a moment. You can use your hands like a pillow, or you can rest on one side of your face. We're on one cheek, switch sides. Place your palms to the floor. Press up to hands and knees, tabletop, please. Do this tabletop with the tops of your feet on the floor. And then cross your right shin over your left shin. So you make an X. Have a seat toward your heels. This is a lot. So for many of us, calves are tight, and for all of us, shins are hard. So the more forward you have your hands, or the higher your hips, the less intense it'll be. If you want more intensity, sit your hips back and down. And you can even move your top knee forward and back. That sometimes gets in there. If you feel nothing, you're one of the lucky ones, in which case you can try to find another spot. Oh, not so lucky. Lean forward into your hands. Switch the cross of your shins and have a seat again. Adjust yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
And you can use your top knee to move forward and back. You can also try a different position. Place your hands back in front of you. Spread your fingers wide, index fingers forward. Walk your knees back, down dog. Stretch your calves. Bend one knee and sink through your opposite heel. And switch sides. Bring your feet together. Lift your heels up, lower your knees to the floor. Have a seat on your heels. Together, but widen your knees. Place your pulse points of your wrists in front of your kneecaps. Spread your fingers, point your index fingers forward. Like cat pose, round your spine, but look straight down toward your hands. Push from your shoulders into your hands until your upper back broadens. Squeeze your inner feet together and reach your heels back. Spread your fingers wide like down dog. Point your index fingers forward and grip the floor with your hands. Lift your heels, transition your weight more forward, and then lift one or both feet. If both feet are up, bring your inner feet together, flex your feet. Push your arms into your legs, look straight down or even a little forward. Squeeze your legs into your arms. Push your shoulders into your hands until your upper back broadens and maybe until your arms straighten a little more. Lower your feet to the floor when you're ready. Walk back to tabletop. Lower onto your forearms. Curl your toes under, lift your hips. Dolphin pose. You can bend your knees if you need to, but really push into your elbows and stretch your hips back. Dolphin pose is like down dog on forearms. Lower your knees to the floor. Place your hands to the floor. Down dog. Look toward your hands. Step or hop your feet forward. Fold over your legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring your ribs and your thighs in contact. Place your hands to your hips. With your inhale, stand up. Okay. Step to the middle of your mat. Trying to face the long edge of your mat, either one is fine. Take a wide stance, please. You will not need a prop for this yet. Lift your arms off to the sides. Widen your ankles so they're underneath your wrists. Widen your left heel slightly. Turn your right foot open to the right, and for warrior two, bend your front knee. Aim your shin straight up and down, knee over heel. Look over your right hand. Push into your back heel. Move your ribs back. Move your torso slightly to the left. Stretch your hands apart. Then push firmly into your feet. Stretch up through the crown of your head. Keep your knee bent, lower your right forearm to your thigh, extend your top arm in line with your ear. Turning your chest a little to the left. Keep moving your right knee to the right and stretch your top hand away from your back heel. Lift back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Turn your right foot in and bring your heel as wide as your little toe. Turn your left foot open to the left. Bend your left knee, shin vertical, knee over heel. Look over your left hand. Widen your left knee to the left. Push into your back foot. Tone your abdomen in and move your torso slightly right. Stretch through your hands. Then push firmly into your feet and extend through the crown of your head. Lower your left forearm to your thigh. Swing your right arm in line with your ear like your crescent pose. Keep moving your left knee to the left, but turn your chest to the right. Stretch your top hand away from your back heel. Lift back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Turn your left toes in, place your hands to your hips and line up your feet. Bend your knees, fold over your legs. Place your hands to the floor under your shoulders, or walk your hands back in between your feet. Lower your head toward the floor in between your hands. Keeping your heels on the floor, move your hips a little more forward. Then to strengthen where you're stretching, press your hands down and forward, press your feet down and back. Straighten your arms, walk your hands more forward. Heel toe your feet toward each other. When you feel steady, bend your knees, stand up, and step your feet together. Triangle pose is next. If you have a block or a block-ish prop, grab that now, bring it in your right hand. Take a wide stance again, please. Lift your wrists to the height of your shoulders. Widen your ankles underneath your wrists. Widen your left heel slightly. Turn your right foot open to the right. Prop in your right hand. Bend your right knee a little. Lean your torso to the right and place your hand or your prop to the floor, or you can bring your hand to your shin. Extend your top arm. Push into the ball of your right foot and begin to straighten your right leg a little or a lot. And often in these poses, a little feels like a lot. On all straight legs, lift your kneecaps. Then move your right outer hip in so your hips are stacked. Tone your abdomen in, turn across your chest to the left, and then take an inhale. With your exhale, get big. Push into your feet, stretch through your hands, and lengthen your spine. If you're using a prop, take it with you. Bend your front knee a little, stand up. Turn your right foot in, heel as wide as your little toe. Bring your prop into your left hand. Turn your left foot out. Bend your left knee a little. Lean your torso to the left. Place your hand or your prop to the floor outside of your shin, or bring your hand to your shin, top arm vertical. Push into the ball of your left foot so it's strong and begin to straighten your left leg. Anything in the direction of straight works. Push your big toes down and on all straight legs lift your kneecaps. Move your left hip under, stack your hips. Tone your abdomen in. Turning your chest to the right, stack your shoulders. Then take an inhale. Exhale, push through your feet, stretch through your hands, and lengthen your spine. Bend your front knee a little. Lift your torso. Turn your toes in. Place your fingertips in front of your chest. Step or hop your feet together. Okay. Step to the back of your mat and turn to face the top of your mat. Place your hands to your hips. Warrior one is next. The foot position for warrior one, instead of like warrior two where your foot is perpendicular to your front foot, your back foot points more forward in this one. With your heels together, turn your left foot out slightly. Keeping your left heel on the floor in one or many steps, step your right foot forward. Push your back heel into the floor, bend your front knee. You can keep your hands on your hips or lift your arms overhead. If you can maintain straight arms, interlace your hands, extend your index fingers up. With your inhale, stretch up. And with your exhale, sit lower. Push into your back heel. Squeeze your right outer hip back. Turn in your rib cage to the right and tone your abdomen in. Then stretch up with your hand and even back like you did in your chair pose way, way up earlier. Straighten your front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep your hands on your hips or interlace your hands behind you and squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Bend your front knee like your warrior one. Then fold your ribs to your thigh or fold inside of your front leg and begin to straighten your arms. You can also repeat down dog lunge. Move your right outer hip back, widen your right knee. Tone your abdomen in. Then lift your shoulders up, wrists up, and let your head hang. Gently release your hands to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Stand up, step back. All of that second side. Bring your feet together so your heels are touching. Keep your heels together, turn your right foot open slightly. Place your hands to your hips. Keeping your right heel on the floor, step your left foot more forward. Almost as far forward as your lunge pose from earlier. Bend your front knee, push in your back heel. Stay here, lift your arms overhead. If you can maintain straight arms, interlace your fingers and extend your index fingers up. Push into your back heel and sit low into your front thigh. Squeeze your feet toward each other, move your left hip back. Tone your abdomen in and turn your rib cage more to the left. Lift your chest, lift your chin, and like your chair pose, move your upper arms back and bring a slight back bend. Push through your feet, stretch through your hands. Gently straighten your front leg. Place your hands to your hips. You can keep your hands on your hips or interlace your hands behind you. With your elbows bent, open the front of your chest. Fold forward, ribs to thigh, or fold to the inside of your front foot. So don't begin to straighten your arms. If your arms are straight, move your knuckles as if beyond your head. Move your left hip back, widen your left knee. Push into your back foot, that's your anchor, and tone your abdomen in. Then lift your shoulders up, knuckles up, and let your head hang. Gently release your hands. Lift your back heel. Step your back foot forward. Fold over your legs. Even widen your feet here. And hold your opposite elbow. You can let your torso sway side to side. Place your hands to the floor. Step back, down dog. Bring your feet together. Shift forward, plank pose with your knees on or off the floor. You can do this even if your knees are on the floor. Bring the top of your right foot to the floor so your toenails are down. Stay here, you'll switch sides in a moment, or bring your left foot to the floor. Push on the tops of your feet, keep your hips to the height of your shoulders, grip the floor with your hands. Tone your abdomen in and lift your head to the height of your shoulders. Gently lower down. Walk your hands back a little. Move your chest forward and up for cobra pose. Keep pushing on the tops of your feet as much as you did in your plank pose. Lower down. Roll over so you're lying on your back, please. And when you get there, draw your knees in. You can roll side to side or be still. Lift your legs toward the ceiling. Wedge your arms to your outer torso and keep your head on the floor. Or interlace your hands behind your head. Point your elbows up, squeeze your face with your forearms, and lift your head and shoulders away from the floor. For leg lifts, it's one leg at a time today. Tone your abdomen in. Lift your head and shoulders if your hands are there to support you, and lower your right foot to a hover. Pause. Squeeze your inner thighs in. Draw your left leg closer to you. Inhale, lift your right leg, lift your hips, lower your left leg to hover and hold it. Straighten your legs strong, squeeze your inner thighs in, and move your right leg, that's your top leg, closer to you. Keep moving at the pace of your own breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, switch sides between. Lift your chin a little. As you lower your leg, firm that glute, it's your buttocks muscle, and lift your tailbone. next time you lower your left leg, you're done. And when you're done, draw your knees into your chest. Recline child's pose. Rest your head on the floor. Keep your right leg drawn in, straighten your left leg along your mat. Interlace your hands around the front of your right shin and widen your right knee. Use your arms to draw your leg in. You can stay here. Or if you think back to your crow pose, the arm balance, or even the malasana, the squat, so you can do it either way. Your upper arm, that's the part above your elbow, is going to be around the front of your shin. So it's not under your leg, but it's around the front of your shin. Keep your right leg drawn in, lift your head and chest away from the floor. Bring your left hand to your right ankle. Reach your right arm towards your left foot, and then reach through your right hand until you get further up. Work your upper right arm over the front of your right shin. Keep your left hand where it is, or bring your left arm to mimic your right arm. Stay here or hover your left leg above the floor like it was in a leg lift position. Push your arm into your leg, squeeze your leg towards your ribs, and reach, push through your hands like your crow pose. Come out. Mini Shavasana rest. Draw both knees in. Hold the fronts of your shins with your hands. Release your right leg to your mat. Hold your left shin with both hands, widen your left knee, and draw your leg in. Okay, you can stay here, you can come back here. Otherwise, lift your head and chest away from the floor. Bring your right hand around the front of your left ankle. Bring your heel to your hip. Then with your left arm inside of your left thigh, reach through your hand as if you're reaching your left hand toward your right toes. Work your left upper arm around the front of your left shin and keep your right hand here for support, or reach your right arm out and mimic your left arm with your right arm. Stay here or lift your right leg to a hover above the floor. Push your arm into your leg, squeeze your leg towards your ribs, and tone your abdomen in. Then push into your shoulders so much that you move your hands more forward. Ooh, come out. Straighten your left leg, rest. Bend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Walk your heels close to your hips. Turn your toes to point toward the back of your mat. Press your elbows into the floor and walk your shoulder blades in underneath you. Then lift your hips up. You can hold the outer edges of your mat with your hands. That's especially if earlier, if you had your hands on your hips when we were doing hands bound, that's your option. Or interlace your hands underneath you. Walk your upper arms and your shoulder blades in. Push your elbows down, lift your chest. Shrug your shoulders toward your ears and bring your head, the back of your head, to the floor. Keeping your elbows on the floor, do or don't. Straighten your arms to get your hands to the floor. Squeeze your thighs in. Squeeze your heels back and stretch the tops of your thighs out. Gently release your hands over your hips. Widen your feet a little and let your knees rest in. Bring your hands somewhere that brings you comfort. I personally like to have my arms over my head. Gives me a little bit more space to breathe. It feels to me less claustrophobic than when my hands are on my body. Gently widen your knees. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can stay here with your left foot on the floor, or draw your knees in. Thread your right arm through the triangle of your legs and interlace your hands behind your left thigh or around the front of your shin. Rest your head on the floor. To stabilize your right knee, flex your foot and turn the sole of your foot almost away from your face. Use your arms to draw your legs in. Use your breath to soften. I find that one of the opportunities and one of the boons of this time away from people, while it at times feels like a loss of connection, it's an opportune time to get more and more connected with yourself. Gently release your legs. Switch sides, left ankle over right thigh. Do whatever you did on the first side. Rest your head on the floor and draw your legs in. To stabilize your left knee, flex your left foot. Turn the sole of your left foot away from you. Draw your legs in. I think that there are a lot of ways to get more deeply connected with yourself, but yoga is definitely one of them. Gently release your legs. Roll over so that you're lying back on the front of your body. Bring your forehead to your mat. Behind your head, interlace your hands. Be sure your hands are behind your head and not your neck. Then bend your knees. Bring your inner ankle bones together and your inner arches. So it's not the same as the soles of your feet, it's just the very insides of your feet. Like if you were standing on the floor with your feet together like that. Okay. Squeeze your heels toward your hips. Press your tailbone down, press your pubic bone into the floor, and with your inhale, lift everything up, crocodile pose. Squeeze your ankle bones together, squeeze your inner thighs in, squeeze your heels toward your hips. All that squeeze equals strength. Then keep that, lift your thighs higher. Tone your abdomen in, push your head into your hands and lift your head and chest a little higher. Move your shoulders more onto your back, lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders and use your hands to lengthen the back of your skull out. Lower down. Rest. All right, press up to hands and knees. And back to down dog. Soften your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Place your hands to your hips, stand up. Warrior 3. Reach your arms out in front of you, bring your palms together. Step your right foot to the middle of your mat, bend your right knee. Lower your arms and torso parallel to the floor. Keep your standing leg bent and move to the top of your left toes. Stay here, lift your back leg up. Stay there, begin to straighten your right leg and lift your kneecap. Squeeze your inner thighs and tone your abdomen in. Lift your shoulders and stretch apart. Ooh. Come out, mountain pose. You can tell that that's a pose I have not been doing during quarantine. Reach your arms out in front of you, bring your palms together. Step your left foot forward, bend your left knee. Lower your arms and torso parallel to the floor, lean forward and lift your back leg up. Stay here, straighten your back leg. Squeeze your thighs and abdomen in, lift your shoulders and stretch. Come out, mountain pose. The next pose is going to be again, upper arm to the front of your shin, starting from a lunge. We'll do it together. At the front of your mat, fold forward. Step your left foot back to a lunge. For now, lower your back knee to the floor and reach your right arm as if beyond the top of your mat. Bend your left elbow and get low to the inside of your thigh. Then like you did lying down, work your right upper arm around the front of your shin, similar to a crow pose, and place your hand to the floor. Then bring your left hand to the floor, parallel to your right hand, shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Grip the floor with your hands, press in the top of your back foot, lift your back knee up. Scratch that. Lower your knee to the floor, curl your toes under, lift your knee up. That's way better. Lean forward, bend your elbows, and maybe squeeze your right heel up. Now, if you want to, move to the top of your left toes. Squeeze your arm into your leg into your arm, lift your chin and stretch your chest forward. Come out. Step your left foot forward. That's the prep variation of one leg crow. Good stuff. Step your right foot back. Lower your back knee to the floor. Bring your left arm inside of your left foot. Keep your right hand on the floor and reach your left arm out. Then bend your right arm, get low. Like your crow pose, work your upper arm around your shin and place your left hand to the floor. Bring your right hand to the floor, shoulder width apart. Grip the floor with your hands. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee, lift your hips. Lean forward, squeeze your left heel in. Push your arm into your leg, squeeze your inner thigh in towards your ribs, and do or don't come to the top of your foot. Grip with your hands, lift your chin, and stretch your chest forward. The ab work's kind of built in this one. Come out. Whew. Down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Have a seat. Bend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Bring your right arm off to the right. Like dominoes, lower your knees to the right. Then bring your left heel back and your right heel in. Hold your left foot with your left hand and bring your heel to your hip. Slide your knee back if you'd like a stronger thigh stretch. And be sure that your right hand is out enough to where your right arm's at a diagonal. Move both shoulders back. Press your tailbone in and stretch through your left knee. Lift your chin and you can look over either shoulder. Gently release your back foot. Help your left leg forward. Bring your feet to the floor. Walk your left hand off to the left. Lean your knees to the left. Swing your right leg back and bring your left heel in. Hold your right foot with your right hand and bring your heel to your hip. Slide your knee back if you'd like a deeper thigh stretch. And be sure that your left hand is at an angle to where you can move your shoulder back. Move both shoulders back, lift your chest. Press your tailbone down and stretch through your right knee. As you move your shoulders back, lift your chest, and you can look over either shoulder. Gently release. Bring the soles of your feet together. For this one, you can sit up on a blanket or a block or a prop of some sort. You can also move your feet forward and a little wide. Move your inner thighs back and apart. Hold the fronts of your ankles with your hands. If when you do that you feel like you're going to fall backwards, instead place your hands behind you and work on moving your inner thighs down. Push your heels together. Press your outer feet down. Lengthen your spine. If your knees are at your belt, like waistline or lower, then that's cue from your low back that it's okay to fold. So if that applies to you, fold forward. If not, it would be more beneficial, at least in the long run, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the long run, to stay upright. Hold the outer edges of your knees with your hands. Use your arms to lift your legs back up. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Place your hands to the floor about 1.5 feet behind your hips. Turn your thumbs to point forward, so your thumbs point toward your feet and your fingers point out. Press your hands down, lift your chest up. Stay here or dig your heels down, lift your hips up. You can also do reverse table with your knees bent. Wherever you are, push into your hands, lift your chest. Turn your inner thighs down. Look forward or up, only back if you know that your neck can support you. Lower your hips to the floor. One at a time, walk your hips back, as if you were shortening your legs. Move your inner thighs out. Then underneath your sit bones, pull back. Place your hands behind you, lengthen your spine, and then lean forward in your torso. Stay here, or you can use your strap or your prop to hold your feet. You can hold your feet with your hands, then lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Stay here or fold forward. If when you fold, your knees and ribs are not in contact, bend your knees until they are. Dig your heels down, tone your inner thighs in. Maintain some length in your spine as you fold by reaching your heart forward. Keep hold of whatever you've got. Inhale, lift and extend. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, sit up. Lower your forearms to the floor behind you. Push your forearms down and push them towards your heels to lengthen your low back. Basically, it's pulling your glute muscles down. And lie all the way down. When you get there, bend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Draw your knees in. Bring your left arm under your right calf and interlace your hands around the front of your left shin. Draw your legs in. If this is a little too much on your hip flexors, tone your lowest belly in. If this is a lot on your knees, squeeze your heels toward your hips. In all cases, soften the muscles around your eyes and let your head be heavy. Keep your legs crossed, lower your left foot to the floor. Reach your arms off to the sides, like a capital T or a goal post. Push your left foot down, slide your hips to the right, and then lower your knees to the left. Keep your right shoulder blade on the floor. If this is too much for your knees or your hips, you can uncross and just stack your knees. You can also bring your left hand to your right leg. Look up or to the right. Gently lift your knees up. Uncross your legs, realign your hips with your shoulders. Cross your left thigh over your right thigh. Draw your knees in. Interlace your hands wherever you had them on the first side. Rest your head on the floor. On your lowest belly in, squeeze your heels toward your hips. Keep your legs crossed, lower your right foot to the floor. Reach your arms off to the sides like a capital T or a goal post and slide your hips to the left. Lower your knees to the right. Look up or to the left, and you can bring your right hand to your outer left calf. Thigh. Anchor your left shoulder into the floor. Soften in the features of your face. Uncross your legs, realign your hips with your shoulders. Draw your knees in. Hold the fronts of your shins with your hands. You can roll side to side or be still. You can stay here. You can get a head start on Shavasana. Or for one final straight leg symmetrical stretch, hold your outer feet with your hands. Begin to straighten your legs, keeping your hips low is fine, or roll more towards your upper to middle back. Keep your hips to the height of your heels to the height of your hips and vice versa. And then move your legs closer to your torso. Push your heels into your hands. Tone your lowest belly in. Rebend your knees. And as you're ready, straighten your legs on your mat. Allow your hands and feet to fall open. Settle in for your Shavasana. comfortable seat. Place your hands to your thighs, or bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment to acknowledge you and all of your effort. Self-care is as much about pampering as it is about showing up for yourself and doing the work. In deep reverence and respect to you, namaste. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully I'll get to see you in person soon. Make sure to head to the brewery, get some crowlers, get some bottles. The tamarind sour will be back on tap soon, so that's really exciting. And if you are looking to do something active to stay fit in between these things, our really cool neighbors, Let's Sweat, they are offering some online offerings. They're doing some really cool workout challenges, some mindfulness challenges, some goal working stuff. So go to their website or their Instagram and be sure to check them out. Send them some love. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.